Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're going to review Red Matter 2 VR, a game released on the Steam Store and the MetaQuest Store August 18th, 2022, with a later release on PSVR 2. It was developed by Vertical Robot. It normally retails for $30. I did buy this game, and I tested it out on the MetaQuest 3 PC VR. Red Matter 2 is a sci-fi puzzle adventure game. It took me 6 hours to beat the game. I would estimate most people it would take them 5 to 7 hours to beat the game. While it is not required to have played Red Matter 1 in order to enjoy Red Matter 2, it is recommended because Red Matter 2 does pick up after the events of the first game and provides valuable context to not only the story but some of the game's mechanics as well. And I do have a video review for Red Matter 1. I'll put a link in the video description. And as much as I love Red Matter 1, I think Red Matter 2 is even better. In fact, I would say Red Matter 2 is the best puzzle adventure game in VR. So let's talk about Red Matter 2. First of all, Red Matter 2 is running on the Unreal Engine 4.2. However, it's been heavily customized, and due to that customization, they've been able to get amazing results on the Quest 3 standalone. In my opinion, it's one of the best looking, if not the best looking game on Quest 3 standalone. And it looks incredible on PC VR as well. I wouldn't say it's one of the best looking PC VR games, but it's definitely up there, and it runs great. I was getting a steady 90 frames per second on my RTX 3080, and some of the particle effects, some of the glass refractions are among the best in VR. There was a lot of attention to detail in making this game. There's lots of scenic locations. There's lots of objects you can interact with. For example, you can pick up a beer bottle and throw it on the floor and it'll crack just like you would expect. Or you can put a laser near it and watch the effect it has on the laser. It's not quite on the level of Half-Life Alyx, but it's not too far off either. And I did not experience any serious issues or bugs. This is a very smoothed and polished experience. It's got very high production values. It's got the whole package. It's got visuals, it's got sound, it has music, it has voice acting, it has story, it has everything for a very magical sci-fi puzzle adventure experience. And the puzzles overall are some of the best in VR as far as fitting the narrative. These puzzles feel organic. A lot of times in puzzle games, it feels like the puzzles are out of left field with no connection to the story at all. However, in Red Matter 2, the puzzles just make sense. You have a reason for coming across these puzzles, and just like every good puzzle game out there, these puzzles can be solved just by being observant of your environment, by paying attention to the narrative as well. There will be notes with clues or notes within the environment itself, and the puzzles will vary in difficulty as well. I found most puzzles weren't too difficult, but there was a 2 or 3 that did stump me, at least for a little bit. But just by being observant and persistent, you will get that aha moment, and solving those puzzles was very satisfying. Now, a few of the puzzles were repeating, but those were relatively easy, so it didn't become frustrating. There's also platforming and combat in this game, but the platforming and the combat were also sort of like puzzles. They were both about studying the environment and being tactical. So the platforming was relatively easy as long as you thought ahead of time on how you were going to do your movements. And the combat was the same way. As long as you were tactical, the combat is pretty easy as well. So both the combat and that platforming felt like just a different type of puzzle. Now, you do have full locomotion along with smooth and snap turning available. There is a seated mode as well as several comfort options. Now, you do use a jetpack in this game, but the jetpack is more like some big jumps in a low gravity world. But not only are there comfort blinders, but there's also a teleport mode for the jetpack. And if you find the combat too difficult, there is a difficulty level for the combat. Please note, however, that there is no hint mode for the puzzles, so if you're stunned, there is no way to skip or get some extra help other than looking at online walkthroughs. However, my advice would be just analyze the environment, make sure you read all the notes, make sure you look carefully all around. This game rewards you for being observant. There's also a really good story to uncover here, so you definitely want to read all the notes that are strewn about the environment. The voice acting is excellent, and it's one of those rare games where you enjoy the puzzles, but you also enjoy uncovering the mystery as the story unfolds. It's a well-paced story. There's lots of silence where you're just focused on solving the puzzles, but also in between those puzzles you have the great story unfolding. And it makes this game feel like a great sci-fi adventure that you're on. You're immersed in the story, you're immersed in this world, and the gameplay keeps you engaged. And the musical soundtrack here is absolutely magical. It sets the mood for the game perfectly. When the action picks up, the music is intense, and when it's calm, the music is otherworldly. And I do love Red Matter 2, and I do think it's the best in-class puzzle adventure experience in VR, but I do have some criticisms. My biggest complaint is one that I think might lead some people to not enjoy this game, is that the puzzle difficulty overall is not that challenging. Now, there are a few puzzles that I thought were very challenging, but I would say 80% of the puzzles were on the easier side of things. So if you're a puzzle veteran, a puzzle pro, you may not appreciate this game at all. My other complaints about this game are more like quibbles or nitpicks. The lighting in this game wasn't always the best, especially your flashlight. It hardly illuminated anything. Lastly, a lot of the negative reviews of this game are about the combat. Now, personally, I did not have any problem with the combat. It really is not a focal point of this game, and I didn't find it difficult at all. And there's a difficulty option that you can change in the settings as well. But in any event, on normal difficulty, it does take several shots to take down some of the drones. And for that reason, some people did not enjoy the combat in this game, but I just disagree with their point of view on this one. For me, Red Matter 2 is one of the best VR games ever made. I highly recommend it. If I have to rate it, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It is near perfection. It would be on my top 10 list of all-time VR games. It might even be in my top 5. In any event, it is the best puzzle adventure game in VR out there. So if you haven't played it yet, go play it. If you haven't bought it yet, go buy it. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. This has been my review for Red Matter 2. If you enjoyed this review, if you found it useful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the video.
Great, I see. Spotted me.
Take cover! Try firing at its weak spots. Good shot. Keep it up. You've almost got it.
Oh, shit. All clear. Don't see any more of them.